Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling one of the absolute biggest headaches in the modern enterprise, fixing Windows Hello for Business issues. Now, whether you're local IT support, handling the daily grind of tickets, a senior infrastructure engineer, or even a CEO looking at the bottom line of IT efficiency, this is absolutely for you. We're going to start from the basics and make our way right up to the advanced level, walking through a comprehensive technical repair guide and laying out a proactive IT strategy. Our goal? To completely eliminate Windows Hello for Business failures across your entire ecosystem. No more locked-out users, no more endless troubleshooting. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because if you work in IT, you know this error all too well. A user opens their laptop, they're ready to work. They tap in their PIN, maybe even the exact same PIN they just had to reset 3 times this month, and boom! They get this incredibly unhelpful, generic message, something went wrong. Their PIN just suddenly stops working out of nowhere, and they have literally no idea why. And frankly, neither does the Helpdesk at first glance, because Windows Hello breaks silently in ways that are genuinely hard to diagnose.
But what if we could flip the script entirely? What if Windows Hello could just fix itself before the user ever even noticed there was a problem? Well, surprise, it actually can. Thanks to Imran Awan over at the Endpoint Weekly website, there's this brilliant, completely free toolkit. It contains Intune Proactive Remediation scripts designed to solve this exact problem silently, right in the background. We're going to explore exactly how this works on the website's toolkit, taking you step by step through the whole shebang. So here's our agenda for today. First, the silent failure loop. Then, the 4 technical pillars. Next, detecting those invisible errors, followed by our automated repair guide, and finally, deployment and IT strategy. We've got the high-level business strategy for the directors and the deep technical PowerShell fixes for the Intune engineers. Section 1, the silent Windows Hello for Business failure and that frustrating Helpdesk cycle. You know, Windows Hello is honestly one of the best security improvements you can deploy. But when it breaks, it creates this incredibly costly loop of temporary PIN resets. Section 2, the 4 pillars of Windows Hello for Business. Basically, what actually breaks under the hood. To fix the root cause, we really need to understand the architecture first.
You see, Windows Hello for Business isn't just a single switch you flip. It's a complex stack. It's kind of like a 4-legged stool. If any one leg breaks, the whole thing just falls over. First up, you've got the NgC key. This is the actual credential tied to the user and device, stored super securely in a local service folder. If those folder permissions break, authentication stops dead. Second, the PRT, or primary refresh token. Think of this as your VIP wristband for seamless single sign-on to AzureAD resources. If your PRT expires, your sign-in fails. Third, we have the 4 core Windows services that underpin the whole stack. Key ISO, NgcSVC, NGCTNRSVC, and the Web Account Manager Token Broker. Just one-stop service here instantly breaks authentication. And finally, fourth, you absolutely must have a ready TPM 2.0 chip and an enabled policy.
Moving right along to Section 3, detecting invisible authentication errors. Reading the matrix, so to speak. Because these failures happen entirely in the background, we need a really reliable way to detect them so we can trigger our automated remediation script.
Now, normally, if you're troubleshooting manually, Event Viewer is your first stop, right? A missing PRT throws an event ID 104 in the user device registration admin log. That usually happens because the Web Account Manager Token Broker just lost its session state. For NgC key corruption, you'll see event ID 302 in the Hello for Business operational log, showing an NTE_bad flags error, which basically means the key container is in a bad state. But here's a massive caveat. These Event Viewer logs might be completely empty. Yeah, there's no way to trace it. If the device never successfully attempted provisioning, say a tech manually deleted the NgC key folder trying to fix it earlier, you'll see absolutely nothing in there.
So, because event logs can be so unreliable, the ultimate trigger is running the command dsregcmd/status. The detection script from the Endpoint Weekly website uses this simple but honestly brilliant parser that runs this command and converts the output into a compliant or non-compliant status. If it sees AzureAdPrt no or NgcSet no, it immediately knows the device is broken and flags it for remediation. It is incredibly reliable.
Section 4, the 5-step automated repair guide. Let's look at remediate WHfB.ps1 in action. This is where we shift to the advanced technical layer, walking through the exact sequence of the remediation script.
Let's see how this systematically auto-repairs the machine. This script runs as system, which is the default context for Intune, working through 5 really precise steps. Step 1, it restarts the required Windows Hello services, forcing them to run. Step 2, it refreshes the primary refresh token. Step 3, it triggers a hybrid AzureAD re-registration, which is great if the device is domain joined but failing AAD join. Step 4, it triggers an Intune MDM sync to reapply any policies. And finally, Step 5, it cleans out stale or corrupted NGC keys. Now, what's fantastic here is that Step 5 is entirely conditional. It acts as a strict safety valve. Healthy keys are automatically skipped and never ever touched.
But hold on, Step 2, refreshing that PRT token presents a massive PowerShell problem. You see, Intune remediations run in the system context. System has super high privileges, but it's completely blind to active user sessions. On the flip side, the logged-on user context has limited privileges, but it does have access to the Web Account Manager token broker, which is absolutely required for a PRT refresh. It's literally like having a VIP all-access badge, but no access to the specific backstage room you actually need to get into. If you just run the refresh command as system, it silently fails because it can't reach the user's session-bound token broker.
And this brilliantly illustrates the absolute secret sauce of the remediation script, a function called Invoke-AsLoggedOnUser. This clever little function registers a one-time scheduled task under the logged-on-users principle, fires it a few seconds later, and then cleans it up. It essentially injects the command directly into the user's active session. This allows the system-level remediation script to accurately and successfully refresh the user's PRT without them ever lifting a finger. It's a real game-changer.
Section 5, Deployment and IT Strategy. Let's cover the guardrails for Intune deployment. Zooming back out for our IT directors, you've seen the technical repair guide, but how do we actually deploy this safely across an entire enterprise using Intune?
When you set up your proactive remediation package in the Intune Admin Center, you're going to upload 2 scripts. The detection script must be set to run using the logged-on user's credentials. This allows it to check the user's PRT and NGC keys accurately. But the remediation script must be set to run as system. That means you specifically select no to running as logged-on credentials. It absolutely needs that system elevation to restart services and take ownership of corrupted folders. Getting these execution contexts backwards is for sure the single most common mistake when deploying this package, so please keep an eye out for that.
Now, for the security teams watching, you can breathe easy. This script has crucial safety guardrails built right in. It only runs its destructive steps if the NgcSet is explicitly no or missing. But I want to be incredibly clear on this next point. It deliberately never clears the TPM. Clearing the TPM in the BIOS or via a script is extremely dangerous. Doing so will immediately invalidate your BitLocker protectors on every encrypted drive. If you don't have recovery keys perfectly saved and synced in EntraID, you will unrecoverably brick those drives. This script is exceptionally safe specifically because it avoids touching the TPM entirely.
So what does this all mean? Well, the crucial point boils down to one simple concept, represented by a single number, 0. This represents our ultimate IT strategy goal. By deploying these scripts from the website, you are aiming for 0 helpdesk calls related to Windows Hello, 0 friction for your end users, and, wonderfully, 0 sign-ins required to get this code from Imran Awan's GitHub repo. It is completely free and open source.
Which leaves us with one final question for your organization. Is your IT department ready to shift from reactive password resets to proactive, invisible auto-remediation? If you're tired of the frustrating cycle of broken pins and generic error screens, head over to the Endpoint Weekly website or their GitHub repository. Download the free toolkit, dive into it, and deploy this strategy. It's an absolute game changer for your users and your help desk. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we will catch you on the next one.